much. For more on the latest vaccine news, let's bring in Dr. Scott Gottlieb. He, of course, is the former FDA commissioner. He's a CNBC contributor, and he sits on the boards of both Illumina and Pfizer. And Scott, obviously a huge day for Pfizer. Looking like the FDA is going to approve this. It's just a question of when, how quickly these things come together. What has to happen next? And what does this tell you about the early read we've gotten from the FDA in terms of how quickly we might see people here in the United States getting vaccinated?
Well, look, I think the secretary was very clear on TV this morning that something could happen within the next 24 to 48 hours, and you could see vaccinations as early as Monday or Tuesday. You can't get much clearer than that, and the secretary obviously would know what the wind down is here, what the timeline is. I'm sure the agency feels a great degree of public health urgency here. They recognize what's at stake. Since the Pfizer interim data came out showing that this vaccine is more than 90% effective on November 9th, 140,000 nursing home patients have been infected with COVID, and 21% of those individuals are going to die. So those are the stakes that we're dealing with right now with an epidemic that's raging across the country. Literally tens of thousands of people who would be immediately eligible for the vaccine are getting COVID every week, and a high percentage of them are going to unfortunately succumb to the infection, people who are vulnerable. So we always knew long-term care facilities and nursing home facilities would be the first to receive the vaccine. So this could have an immediate impact on the most vulnerable patients. That's the stakes right now.
You know, putting it in those terms, it's clear that days matter, hours matter. When you start thinking about in the terms of people who are getting it on a daily basis right now, and how many of those people are likely to not make it, not likely to survive. Let's talk about the panel vote yesterday, because until we started getting some clarity on that, it was pretty confusing to see a 17-4 vote with one abstention. 4 people voting no. We know at least 2 of those members voted no because they were concerned about offering the authorization all the way down to age 16. They would have voted yes if it had been at age 18. Why was it written this way, especially when you realize that most of those 16 and 17-year-olds aren't going to be eligible for the vaccine anytime soon?
Yeah, I think that's right. And, typically in an advisory committee meeting, you might see the advisory committee trying to rewrite the question in a way that's more pleasing to them. And you also would see the panel members given an opportunity to explain their vote. That didn't happen here. So I think that's why there was a little confusion coming out of the meeting, because some people voted no for what seems to be a very specific reason, but didn't have the opportunity to explain what their concerns were. The reality is exactly as you stated. This vaccine isn't going to be eligible for 16 and 17-year-olds for quite some time. We know that, for months, and probably until it gets fully licensed some point, hopefully, if everything goes well in the spring or the summertime. So it's kind of a moot point with respect to the fact that the EUA might be issued for that age cohort, because it's not going to be available to the full range of that age cohort for quite some time. But it would have been good if the panel members were given an opportunity, I believe, to explain their votes. That way we had more understanding, clarity, insight into what their misgivings were.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.